Former White House press secretary and co-host of Outnumbered, and Gerry Baker, editor-at-large of the Wall Street Journal and a Fox News contributor. His book, American Breakdown, comes out tomorrow. Congratulations on your new book, Gerry. Good to have you both here. Kayleigh, great to see you again this afternoon. So, first, with regard to this news conference, I want to play a little bit more of it. And obviously, the reason, it's a 25-minute news conference. I really encourage everybody to watch the whole thing. There are moments of clarity, clearly, in it. But there's so much, it's so difficult, it's so meandering, it's so hard to figure out what the overall message was from the president in this very important moment in Hanoi. So watch some of this.
I'm just following my orders here. Staff, is there anybody haven't spoken to? No, I ain't calling on you. I'm calling on, I said I had 5 questions, but I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
What did you say about Mr. Lee?
We talked about stability. We talked about making sure that the third world, the Southern Hemisphere had access to change. It had access. It wasn't confrontational at all. You came up with
Thank you, everybody. This ends the press conference. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kicks in. Karine Jean-Pierre cuts him off there while he's still talking. What's your take on that as a former White House press secretary?
I can't imagine having to cut my boss off on the world stage and play that music in the manner we just saw. The problem with the Biden gaffes, and people make small moments blow up into big things. The pausing of 5 seconds, that's what the Biden administration would argue. The media blows this up. But it's not blowing it up when gaffes turn into huge strategic blunders. We didn't necessarily see one here, but you did see one when he suggested regime change in Russia, when the White House staff has to get on the phones with reporters after and clean up his comments. You did see one when he talked about Taiwan and strategic ambiguity and muddy the waters of U.S. policy. So these gaffes, while they may say, look, you're focusing on something when he was up for 24 hours, they have big international repercussions. A minor incursion, yet another one. You can go through a litany when it comes to the Biden administration.
So, Gerry, you wrote a book called American Breakdown. And when you watch the president in this moment on the world stage, and granted, everybody gets that you're tired, been to a number of countries in a short period of time, but that is the job. That is the job.
Bedtime for Biden, wasn't it there, really? I mean, the Wall Street Journal poll that we had last week showed that 73% of Americans think that Joe Biden is too old, just not fit to be president. 60% think he's not mentally competent. Majority of Democrats think that he's too old to be president. And why do they think that? Because they see things like that. As Kayleigh said, and as you say, look, we can all make mistakes. We've all, goodness me, we've all been in situations where we're tired or we say the wrong thing. This is not just something like that. When we know that the president is about to be, he's going to be 81, he'll be 80, almost 82 at the next election. If he did serve a full term, he'd be 86. We've all got relatives, we've all seen elderly relatives who've, gone through that kind of decline. We're seeing it playing out in real time on our television screens. And let's be, he's there in Asia. We've just heard about, these latest moves by Kim Jong-un to support Russia and Ukraine. You've got this axis between Russia, China, and North Korea. He's there in Asia projecting America on the world stage. And America should represent itself as a strong country with strong leaders, with an absolute sense of purpose and vision. And I'm afraid Joe Biden just doesn't do that.
So today's September 11th. 22 years ago today was the attack on the World Trade Center, and it was a horrific day for this country. And following it, on September 20th, George Bush gave his first speech to the joint session of Congress. This is another president that we're going to look at today, given this anniversary, as he talks about what the country needs to do and the ramifications for attacking the United States of America. Watch this.
It is my hope that in the months and years ahead, life will return almost to normal. We'll go back to our lives and routines, and that is good. Even grief recedes with time and grace. But our resolve must not pass. Each of us will remember what happened that day and to whom it happened. I will not forget the wound to our country and those who inflicted it. I will not yield. I will not rest. I will not relent in waging this struggle for freedom and security for the American people.
I think everybody remembers when you listen to those words how raw the country was at that moment and how President Bush did rise to the moment, I think, and give the country a focus on who we are and what mattered after that attack. So President Biden, as I said, the first president, Kayleigh, to choose not to go to one of the 3 sites. Is that significant, or over time, is that what happens?
It is significant. So significant that if I were Karine Jean-Pierre, I held her job just 2 individuals ago, I would have gone into my boss, President Trump, and said, no, we've got to do this. But it's not a conversation I ever had to have because it was resolute in his mind. He would show up each and every 9/11. I went with him to Shanksville, Pennsylvania. We were on the plane, Air Force One, at 8:46 a.m. when he and the rest of the administration said, we're going to pause, we're going to stop, and remember the moment that first plane hit the World Trade Center. When it doesn't come from your boss, I wish it would have come from his staff saying, Mr. President, this is a big blunder.
Yeah, Gerry, what's going on here? And he's going to be in Alaska where he'll make a statement on this.
Well, as somebody once said, you can see Russia from Alaska. So I suppose maybe, he's thinking about projecting America there. I agree with Kayleigh. It is a strange decision. I think particularly for a man, who carries so much baggage as a result of the terrible, humiliating withdrawal from Afghanistan. I think the right thing for him to do would have been to be in one of these places, to be very visible, to commemorating what remains.
Do you think that's exactly why they seem to want to move on from it, because of what happened in Afghanistan?
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly keen to move on. But actually, he seems to be unrepentant about what he did in Afghanistan. He actually seems to be proud of it. So I'm not sure. I think that seems to suggest that, if that's the case, why not be out there? Why not be out there in those normal places where people are commemorating that day? Well,
the Taliban is back in control in Afghanistan now, and we have a very open border where we have people on the terrorist watch list who are crossing into the country. And, I think we've become complacent, I think it's safe to say, at this point. And we certainly hope that we don't find ourselves in the position that we were in 22 years ago today. But it's something to be keenly aware of. Gerry Baker, thank you.
Thank you.
The book is called American Breakdown. We look forward to reading that. And Kayleigh, great to have you with us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.